Today on the show, we're going to do a deep dive on a lot of the consumer funds or consumption-related funds that are out there in the market and see if they're indeed worth your while. Should you think of adding them to your portfolio at all? And Mohit, it's interesting, right? After many months of talking about capex and industrial and defense stocks, now last 3-4 months, and GST is the latest.
Absolutely.
So much consumer talk. What have you made of it?
Absolutely. So Surbhi, I think it's homecoming for India. After a long while, in a country like India, where demographics is the main key component globally spoken about, we are talking about consumption. This story should have long come to our homeland, but better late than never, right? So I think, honestly, consumption as a theme has started picking up some momentum since the start of this year. And it all started with the great budget, which came in this year's start, where you had a direct tax cut, and which was a dramatic direct tax cut, right? So people up to 12 lakhs of income, perhaps going up to 12.75 lakhs of income, could now take everything tax-free at home. Coupled with that, you had the greatest indirect tax reform, right? So direct tax coupled with indirect tax in form of GST reductions, and the slabs across the board have got reduced on consumer items, life care products, consumer discretionary products, and so on and so forth. And this also is a massive rate cut from that perspective. Then you add on to certain factors, which is obviously the Indian demographics, a good monsoon season, the festive season coming around, right? So which is always the period, the September to December period always has been a consumer bonanza period in India. And last but not the least, I think we are all kind of not talking about the impact of ban on gaming companies, Surbhi. And this is all indirectly linked, but that savings which a normal auto rickshaw guy or a normal local consumer will save by not spending on these gaming apps could tune to almost like 40-50,000 crore a year, and which that extra amount of money will, perhaps a large chunk of that will go in household consumption or maybe some bit of savings, this thing, right? So all of this added together is kind of propelling the consumption boost in the economy, and that's why all these consumption funds of late have found immense amount of flavor in the market.
So let's sum it all up now. You know, there is overall consumption, there is auto, there is FMCG, there is airlines, there is, hotels, there is healthcare. So if I were to ask you, Mohit, give me 3-4 fund names, specific ideas by which I can build a very dedicated consumer side to my portfolio, what will those funds be?
Surbhi, I think given the kind of universe we are playing with, my first choice out here will be an excess consumption fund, because it covers all. It covers the new age consumption through your Eternals and Swiggies of the world. It covers the FMCG world through your HULs and Maricos and Nestle's of the world. It covers your supportive industries like your airlines and Trends and DMarts of the world and few other names. Some form of discretionaries and
so it's pretty wide, covers the whole lot.
Covers the whole lot.
Okay.
If you want supplementary names out there, then it is Mirai and Nippon. So these three in the overall basket. If someone is really
and they're actively managed funds.
These are all actively managed funds.
Got it. Okay.
If someone is really willing to take a larger punt, right, and a more aggressive punt, then there is a Motilal Oswal mid and small consumption index fund. So those are all mid and small names in the consumption basket.
And it's a passive fund. It's an index fund.
It's a passive fund. It's an index fund, but these are very different names and a very different portfolio and a pretty aggressive portfolio. Right?
Like which ones?
You will have some component makers out there, some auto component makers. You will have smaller ancillaries out there. You will have some paint names out there. So those kind of, and some hotels which are smaller names. So those kind of names you will find in the portfolio.
And if you are choosing any of these funds, their allocation in the overall portfolio should be limited to what?
This is again a tactical opportunity. I'll repeat that again. It's not for everyone. It's only for the discerning investors. Otherwise, I think a flexi cap or a large and mid cap pretty much suffices for every investor and every risk profile, and will cover all these themes. The fund managers are already covering all these themes. But yes, if you really are looking for that additional jump in your portfolio or a kicker through a tactical allocation, then yes, by all means, consumption is a theme to look out for.